This is Tuesday, April 19th. There are 92 days until San Diego Comic-Con 2016. Welcome to SDConCast, the official podcast of the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog.
V-A-N-U-H-T-E-E, go. Oh my god, I love my girl, and my life turns me
Good evening. I am your host, James Riley. Joining me on the podcast tonight, Carrie Dixon, vanishing for vacation.
Not soon enough.
And joining us, our newest contributor on the site, Robert Warners, the desert dweller doing dynamite data disclosure.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And our special guests for the evening, the Ninjabot, Arnell and Estefania.
You did it!
Hi!
And I have one for you guys too, Achieving Aspirations and Amazing Art.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Nice.
All right, so we have news to get into, but first, let's chat with Arnell and Steph. And first off, just give us a bit of information about what Ninjabot is, what you do, for those who don't know.
You go first.
Ninjabot is me and my wife. I do a lot of the illustration work, and she helps me with the graphic design work and keeping everything in order.
We sell art prints. We travel around the country, really, and doing different kinds of con shows and art shows and stuff like that. And everything we do, everything we sell, we illustrate ourselves, and it's usually him. And yeah, that's kind of what we do.
Package everything. We do everything.
So what do you feel sets you apart from the crowd, from all the other vendors? What do you bring to the table?
I think we try to do as unique as possible take on anything that we do. If it's like pop culture and stuff like that, some things that he does, it's like original work and whatnot. But I think the vector work, because most of our prints are based on like Illustrator. They're all vector work. And they're super hard and time-consuming to do, but I think they have a pretty unique look overall.
Yeah, I try to infuse them with a really sophisticated graphic design sense, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it does. And, I mean, I've loved you guys for a really long time. We feature you guys on the blog all the time. I've got a couple friends of yours sitting in the other room. But let's talk a little bit about your experience with conventions. So how long have you guys actually been exhibiting at cons?
Cons?
Almost 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost 5.
What was your first one?
What was our first one? Well, our first art show was in Las Vegas. It was like a First Friday sort of situation.
So it would be like the first Friday of every month art walk. And I was outside. That was how we started. It was a little itty bitty table with just a few pieces of art.
Yeah, like 12 prints, and now we have like over 100. So from 12 to 100.
Yeah.
But I can't think of the first actual like con. Was it WonderCon? Or maybe Emerald City, something along those lines. Something that started at the beginning of the year.
I think it might have been WonderCon.
Yeah, maybe WonderCon. Not sure.
In Anaheim. The first time it was in Anaheim.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, yeah, that probably was WonderCon. So how did you guys make the jump then from WonderCon to eventually San Diego?
Well, we decided that I think we would just try it out and fill out an application. And we found out that there was a chance for us to get in with the small press section. This is juried. We just applied for it, and sent out some samples, and hopefully turns out they liked us.
Yeah, turns out they liked us.
Yeah, we eventually got in.
So how many years have you guys been at San Diego?
It's going to be our third.
Yeah, this year will be the third year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first year we did a bunch of small shows and whatnot, and we went to San Diego Comic-Con as like attendees.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And we were at the part where you can fill out an application, and we're like, might as well. I mean, worst is gonna happen. It's like
that's right.
They're gonna be like, no, thank you. So we just filled it out, and a few months later, we got in touch with someone, and they told us that we needed a book, and that's one of the reasons why we did our origin book instead of just the prints. and ever since then they've liked us, so we're in for now.
That's really cool, and I actually didn't know that about Small Press, that you need a book.
Yeah. Everybody in Small Press area in San Diego Comic-Con was chosen to be there. Was a juried show, and everyone should have some sort of a comic or self-published book, some sort of like book for it.
Which makes sense. I mean, it's Small Press.
Yeah. But I love Small Press in San Diego. It's so nice.
Anything published, so it doesn't necessarily be a book. It could be stationery.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Most of us have a book.
Since you guys have done both San Diego and WonderCon, how does it differ from other conventions that you've attended at?
From other conventions or from each other?
No, comparing the two CCI conventions to Emerald City or Phoenix.
They're really well run.
Yeah.
At least from like the vendor point of view, the people are super communicative. They're fast. They have everything on point. Not to say that other shows don't have that, but some of the smaller shows sometimes they're not as fast because maybe they don't have as many people. They don't have that luxury of having as many staff members as Comic-Con has. So sometimes you can see that.
CCI has been doing it for a long time, and it shows because they're really on point with everything. The first time we did San Diego Comic-Con, it's such a giant monster show, and we're like little. This is me and her, so I was afraid we would end up getting lost in the whole shuffle of things.
Right.
But the first time we did it, it was incredibly smooth. Like it was almost unsettlingly smooth.
Yeah.
how setup was for us. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess we're done.
Yes.
It was really great. It was a good experience.
Considering the size that San Diego Comic-Con is, and people forget that San Diego Comic-Con's been on for years and years.
Yeah.
Because most shows they want to be the new San Diego Comic-Con, and those shows have been maybe around for 5-10 years, maybe 15, and they don't realize that San Diego's been on for a long time. So they had a lot of time to work out their problems and whatnot, and it's really a learning process for everyone. But I think, organization for the most part, and they're really nice people as well, so that's what I think most.
Yeah, I know a lot of the people that are in the main positions, especially like Justin as the exhibitor liaison, has been there for probably over 20 years. And just that level of knowledge of the job where they don't have to ask too many questions about all the little stuff. It's just part of the knowledge they have going forward. Makes it a lot easier to deal with the things that do crop up that are new.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
For sure, yeah.
So going back to that question, but this time about WonderCon, from your side, what was the difference like between exhibiting in Anaheim versus Los Angeles for WonderCon?
I think the main difference for us that comes up to my mind at first is load-in as vendors. It was because there's only in that convention center in Anaheim, in LA, you have to go up a ramp, which means that you bottleneck everyone. So not everyone's able to just go in like the one in Anaheim. It's very bigger and open, so everyone can just start to load in, especially us small vendors that everything we have is in our own car. We don't have those giant semis that are just piling up. So that was a little harder in LA. The show floor in general, I think it was it was really big, and it was nicer in LA that there weren't those columns and those room separations, because in Anaheim they have those you could tell there's supposed to be a bunch of rooms that they were open.
Mm-hmm.
LA had a much easier flow, I think, for people.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
So let's go back to San Diego just a little bit. And I know we were kind of talking about this before the show started, but how much planning actually goes into that convention for you guys?
Steph and I were joking about it. Planning for the show starts on Sunday of the previous year.
Yeah, like
Comic-Con. It seems.
as soon as it goes over, you're like, all right, what did we do wrong with the show, and how we can make it better next year, or what new thing we're gonna bring next year. As far as like more like sit down and actual planning for like what products are we gonna have? Are we gonna have new things, new designs, or whatnot? That probably is about like 6 months before the show starts, and actual getting ready for it, as in like, I guess, manual labor, like packing prints or packing buttons, making sure.
And design-wise, it's months and months before.
Yeah, I'd say 4 to 3 months before when we start to get ready for it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And then how does it work when you actually get there? Like, how early do you get to town?
Tuesday?
Tuesdays. Yeah,
Yeah.
we get there on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And we kind of like to take our time, especially in San Diego, because we kind of go in and just like kind of float in and relax, and we're like, oh, this is so nice.
Plus we drive, so it's nice to kind of just take it, take it easy, because the drive is pretty long.
Yeah. We try to enjoy setting up for that show and being at that show because it's so fun, and you never know when they're not going to accept us, back to the show. So every year could be our last year. I hope not, but you just never know. So I enjoy it. I'm like, this is so nice. Hopefully we'll come back next year.
It's still cool seeing everything come up, like before
it's all empty.
Before it's just filled with thousands of people.
But I think we get in there Tuesday afternoon, and it takes us a few hours to set up.
Yeah.
Is it kind of cool to like watch everybody else set up their stuff and just poke around and see what people are doing?
Yeah, it's really nice, and you get to walk around and like you see everybody just like, you're like, oh my god, what are they building? Or like, oh my god, that's so cool, I can't believe it's gonna be here, I can't wait to come back. And everyone's pretty chill, because they don't mind other vendors looking. It's a common practice, whatnot. Everybody walking around, checking out what's going on. And you see all these empty spots too, because there's people that haven't gotten there yet. And then when you get there the next day on Wednesday, preview night, and it's like an hour before the show, everyone's like, hurry up, move the trash, no.
That's hysterical. So let's talk a little bit real quick about the actual show. And Leonard had a question for you guys. He asked, how do you tackle the problem of attracting attention of people passing your table?
Well, having good art helps.
Yeah, I mean,
trying to have good art really helps.
It's kind of hard to draw attention without them having something to look at.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, we try to have the art speak for itself. Because if you're like, excuse me, sir, excuse me, hello, hello, people are like, oh my god.
May I interest you in some art?
Yeah.
What we do is we do try to display everything. Have some nice vertical variation in the booth if you want to, speak about technical stuff. Like a lot of height variations and like how things are displayed,
Okay.
When you have a table or really a booth in general, you should have a lot of vertical things. Different heights, nothing that sits like this. Because it's boring to the eye. No matter what it is, it's kind of boring. So if you have different heights, the eye's like, ooh, what's that? And you just look around. So that's a way to kind of attract people, just like technical-wise.
Okay. That makes sense. I was actually talking to another vendor about this the other day, but do you think being in small press helps rather than being outside with the regular exhibitors?
I think it's a different crowd. Personally, for us, it's a crowd that works.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one day we'll like to have a booth in San Diego. That'd be nice.
One day.
But I would like it to be near small press, because I just like that area.
I do. I just like that area. It's nice. Just seeing a lot of indie artists, doing their own thing.
Well, I think people go to small press like looking for that kind of thing.
Right. Exactly.
So I do think that helps. Leonard had another question. He asked what he called a boring practical question. On a typical con day, how early before the doors open do you make your way to your table? And how soon are you out the door once the doors have closed?
I think we're... What did we call it? Maybe 2 hours?
Well, it depends on the show.
It does depend on the show.
It really does. Some shows we get there the day before, not opening day, to set up and that. And then opening day, it goes anywhere from a half hour to 2 hours, like you said.
Yeah. I'd say there are 2 hours. We're there ahead of time.
Because I think for the most, we're not very morning people.
So I think most artists aren't.
Yeah, so we go to the show and we like sit down and we're like this. And like, coffee.
I'm having my morning coffee, just to wake up.
Yeah, you just sit down at the booth for like an hour and just like, look around, just trying to get ready for the emotional roller coaster of like being at the booth.
Right.
And then how close do we leave?
We're usually out, I'd say 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Once the doors close.
Yeah, that also depends on the show for a few reasons. Some shows start pushing people out right away. They're like, all right, 7 o'clock, get out.
Yeah.
And then
Comic-Con's pretty good about that.
Yeah, which is a good thing because
security-wise, it's really good.
Yeah, security-wise, like it's good for the attendees to leave all at once, so us vendors can like restock real quick and not have to worry about anything,
Right.
and we can walk around and talk to each other. And then in some shows, they're like it's like 7:30. You know, the show ended at 7, and it's 7:30, and there's 2 people walking around, and you're like, I don't really want to leave yet.
Yeah, I get that.
You never want to leave the conventions.
Some people don't.
You guys have been doing exclusive prints for San Diego Comic-Con for a while now. How do you decide what your exclusive is going to be?
It's a very good question. No real clear-cut answer to that. It's usually on a property that I love and have always wanted to do a print for. I think the very first Comic-Con we did was Godzilla, and it kind of just worked out because it was like Godzilla was just huge that year, pun intended. And the new movie had just come out, and then so that worked out really well. And then the next year it was Blade Runner because I'm a huge Blade Runner fan.
Nice.
But yeah, it just really depends on
What he wants to do.
if I have a good idea for said print.
Yeah, that's a good point too, actually. There's a lot of things that sometimes he comes up with ideas or I come up with certain things that we want to do, but if we can't work out an idea that we're both comfortable with and that we both think is unique enough, we won't do it. So there's a list of stuff like we've always wanted to do, but we've never come up with something unique sounding or just something that worked out.
Yeah, I've put hours into prints that will never see the light of day. At the end of the day, I was like, this is not strong enough. So, on to the next thing.
How long is the process to get it from, an idea to actually printing it off?
Sketch process. It goes from the sketch process, which is pretty easy, a couple hours, 2 to 4 hours, and then when I build a print in Illustrator, it takes a long time. It can go up to 8 to 12 hours, maybe more.
Some of them,
depending on changes.
Some of them take 30 hours, like the really complex ones. For the most part, I think 12 is a good number.
Yeah, 12 is a good number.
And we print things ourselves, so it makes it easier to test as well. Because sometimes he'll finish a print, and then I'm like the press person.
Steph's the press person, so.
So I have to deal with trying to copy his monitor colors to the printing, which if you've ever printed anything before, you know that's not necessarily easy or always happens the way you want it to. So that'll take me a few hours sometimes, but I'll have to make changes on the piece that he did color-wise, because I'll have to change up whatever he did into this other file that has all kinds of different colors sometimes. Just, slight variations to make them brighter.
Right.
So that also sometimes adds an hour, 3. It takes a while sometimes.
I sympathize with the color issues. Yes.
Yeah.
when you have photographs and you go from one computer to another to a printer or whatever, it's not fun.
And I should mention too, like, because you said 12 hours for like working on a piece. Those aren't necessarily 12 straight hours, or
Right.
sometimes they're 2 hours, and then you work on a piece and you have to what we call it simmering. We let it simmer, and then you come back to it 2 days later, and then you work another hour on it or 3.
Hopefully it looks good after 2 days. Sometimes I'm like, oh, what did I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes the print can take days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I love what you guys do, and two of the things that I really love are your Popcats and obviously your Origin series. I just think they're really fun, cool takes on pop culture. How did those ideas come about? How did those ideas come about? And why don't you tell us a little bit actually about what those two things are?
Okay. Do Origins first.
The Origin series was our first Kickstarter? No, it was like our second Kickstarter. And the way that went about is I just really wanted to do, we all love superheroes, and I really wanted to do superhero prints, but I wanted to do a very different take on superhero prints. So I went about setting a set of limitations for myself. The main one being, how do I do superhero prints that don't really show the superhero in them? And then once Steph and I got to talk, actually, I wanted to show Steph first, so I drew a little thumbnail for her, and I was like, "Do you think people are gonna get these?" And then I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I don't know. And then I sat on that idea for like a year.
Yeah. He literally did the Origin.
I just sat on that idea for a year, and then I just revisited it again.
And then they just really started popping out.
And they started blowing out, I guess.
So,
and for those who don't know, like, they do these awesome prints where basically they just take the origin stories of superheroes and they do them in like really different, cool ways.
Right. Yeah, and I settled on that because, like, wow, these all I started noticing that all of the origin stories for superheroes are super interesting and very impactful and emotional. Really.
Most of them are super sad.
A lot of them are sad, but they are all very memorable.
Yeah.
For sure. And iconic.
And then what about Popcats? I mean, what's that?
Popcats was a thing that started after we saw Mad Max Fury Road in the theaters, and he had this urge to draw Furiosa.
Well, a little more background. We were trying to work on a children's book together.
That's true too.
And it was really cool. And then just to take a break, we watched Fury Road. And when I came home, I decided to do one of the cats in that style as Furiosa. And then I showed my wife, and she loved it. And I don't know, that kind of just went from there. I was like, I could do other cats like this.
Yeah, we posted it online, and people just started asking, why don't you do this character as a cat? And they're like, oh, yeah, that'd be really fun. So then he did it, right, and then we posted it up, and it just kept going and going, because his design of the cat is kind of...
It's very generic. The design is very generic, so it really allows you to do...
to change it up to whatever
pretty much
character
any
you want.
character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've done a lot of crazy characters with the Popcat template.
So now we did a Kickstarter for it to raise money to help print for a book.
Yeah.
And then thankfully it was successful. And right now we're actually waiting for them to get shipped. So it's super exciting, and I can't wait to get that book already. But yeah, those little cute cats are adorable, and I love them too. And by the way, he makes them on. I hope nobody thinks I make anything, because I don't. It's on him.
All of them are watercolored and inked. Yeah.
What's been your favorite Popcat so far?
Oh man, that's a hard question to
Yeah.
answer.
Oh, I was like, I'll just show you. I was like, I think it's right here. Hold on.
There.
This is mine. Hold on.
Yes, I think this one's in the book. Then I gave it to Steph. That's the original.
This
painting.
one's mine.
Oh, that's cute. It's Frida Catlow.
Yeah. This is my favorite. It's so funny.
That's
I
cool.
think my favorite one was Ziggy Stardust. Kitty Stardust.
That's
But-
cool.
To be fair, his favorite changes every time he
It
makes
does.
a new one.
To be honest, it does change all the time.
So he makes a new one, this is my
To
favorite.
be honest.
And then he makes another one, this one's my favorite.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, depending on the difficulty of achieving the cat, I'm like, oh yeah, this was my favorite.
Well, I know you guys did commissions for those back at Emerald City, I think. So for those listening, go see them at San Diego, and maybe you can commission them to draw your own favorite character as in cat form.
Yeah, we're gonna have a pre-con commission, so that'll be the best way. Just follow us on Facebook, Twitter, any of those things. You'll be able to get in contact with us on time.
That makes sense. Let's take some questions from the chat real quick. James, you wanna?
All right. So first, from LeVar, what was your first reaction when you walked into the convention doors at your first San Diego Comic-Con?
Well, as attendees, I was. How'd you feel? I was completely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
As attendees is overwhelmed,
I was instantly addicted to San Diego Comic Con.
but I think they probably need us vendors.
With vendors, the feeling's pretty much the same. It's awesome. It's pretty amazing.
It felt it was something that we wanted for a long time because we met in college, and even in college when we used to go to San Diego as just attendees, we were like, man, walking around like one day I want to be here, you know.
I think the first year we did it was 09. That was our first Comic Con.
Yeah, and then years later, being able to actually be a vendor and like set up and sell our things was emotional.
It was very emotional, for sure.
It was very like, I can't believe this moment is happening.
Being a part of the show is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's the I love it.
And while you're there, this is the fun question of the night. M. Nelson asked, have any celebrities stopped by your booth?
At Comic-Con, I don't remember Comic-Con, but there's been a few celebrities like at certain other shows and stuff like that. Like, Todd, what's his last name? He was, Black Mask. I forgot his last name.
He was Black Mask on Gotham. He was really cool. Oh yeah, he was a neighborhood.
Yeah, he was super sweet. He bought our origin prints and stuff like that, and he was so nice because he always plays a bad guy on TV, and like super friendly guy. We've had other celebrities that passed by, like Manu Bennett. Who else? Oh my god, now I'm like totally blanking on this.
Yeah, I'm totally blanking.
Felicia Day one time passed by with
oh yeah, with oh my gosh.
other people.
Wesley Crusher on
Will Wheaton.
Yeah,
Will Wheaton, yes.
Will Wheaton. There's other stuff too, like J.J. Abrams. We met him twice.
Well, that wasn't at Comic-Con.
No, it was just at a show though. But yeah, that was awesome. He was super nice too, by the way. Oh my gosh, so nice.
I did not keep my cool.
It's hard to keep your cool when some people walk up and start talking to you or looking at your stuff, things like that.
Yeah, you're like.
He was a cool customer. I was not. I was just looking down.
I'm like, look at him. It's him. It's him.
All right, so back to your prints. You just had some new prints debut, and so what are you guys working on next?
So much and so little.
I know.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. I think he's trying to do some new original
I'm
stuff.
trying to do original art that hopefully people dig.
What else? Oh, to continue the Star Wars ones.
Oh yes, yeah. I want to do more Force Awakens. I want to do a Rey painting. Really, that's what I want to do. What else are we working on? Comic-Con exclusive.
Yeah, Comic-Con exclusive. We're trying to do more things where like he makes their paintings instead of vector work. definitely more into traditional artwork, because it's nice to have an original piece. Because with vector work, there's sketches and stuff like that, but they're not the same. They're not a full painting. So it's kind of nice for him to have actual like big paintings that we can keep, or that people want to see what it looks like instead of the print. And then we are working on a new Kickstarter that's called Venom. That's going to come out sometime in the summertime, and it's going to be a sketch.
It's a collection of my sketchbook work, basically.
And we may or may not be working on Origins 3, but don't want to say that too loud.
Well, I'm excited about that.
I know, us too. We already have, I think, some pretty cool ideas that we have enough to make it into a whole other thing. So
yeah,
we'll see.
So much, yeah.
So you guys are really into pop culture, but now you also work, San Diego. You work the show. What's the convention like for you now?
It's kind of nice. San Diego's awesome. It's kind of nice being behind the table. It's a little crazy in between those aisles, as we all know.
It's a nice buffer, right?
It's a nice little buffer, for sure.
Because from behind the table, you kind of, at least we don't, we try to keep to ourselves. I mean, you obviously are looking around and appreciating everybody else that is there, but you are kind of worried about your own things. Like you have your thing and you have to talk to people and you're concerned, making sure that no one's like taking a whole basket and walking away with it. Not that it happens, but those are just kind of things that you have to keep in mind when you're behind your own booth. And as soon as you go around the booth and you're outside, you feel like you have the whole show floor around you, and you're like, oh my God, this is a lot. So you kind of go back into your booth, and you're like, oh, this is safe. I'm safe here.
Like what James said, it is a great buffer for sure.
Yeah,
Just to it allows you to catch your breath from the rest of the show.
It's your environment. It's where you're in control. It's your area, so it feels a lot safer, a lot better. And I'm having worked for the California Browncoats and done selling comics and stuff over the years there. I definitely know that there's a distinct difference from being behind a table versus in front of it.
Right, for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So, as a special treat to those listening live, I think we might have a little giveaway. You want to tell us about that?
Hold on.
So we're going to give away a whole set of our Origin Series prints, and that includes 23 of them. They're in the small set. They're 4x6, and everything that we had.
Really cool, guys.
And you can win all 23. But if you were to buy them separately, it'd be over $100. So I'm hoping that whoever gets it actually really, really likes them.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
Those are awesome.
I had an idea, because we always come up with our ideas roughly 3 seconds before we do the giveaway.
Nice.
And so the first person who tweets at both SD_comic_con and the Ninjabot with what character you would like to see drawn as a cat
Nice.
will win. The first person.
Go.
Go.
Good luck.
And now we will talk while people are furiously typing out the character that they want. So, while we're waiting, why don't you let our listeners know where we can find you and your work, online and in person?
Sweet. So online you can go to theninjabot.com, and you have every print that we have available at shows, and sometimes even more. We have them all available in that website. We also have Twitter, theninjabot.com, Instagram, theninjabot.com, Facebook, theninjabot.com. I don't know if you see
The pattern.
We have Tumblr, we have Pinterest. We're starting a YouTube channel very slowly, but one day we'll have a bunch of videos there, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
And then as far as shows, we're going to Planet Comic Con,
Kansas City.
Kansas City,
MegaCon.
MegaCon in Orlando, San Diego Comic Con, Amazing Las Vegas in Las Vegas. What else?
San Diego Comic Con.
I already said that. A Rose City Comic Con in Portland.
Yep.
And there's a few more. Really, those shows, like, it depends when you get accepted, so I can't really say we're going to be there. Not yet. But if you follow us on any social media, we always post where we're going to be at.
Yeah, and you can see our random hijinks as well on our Instagram. You can see our puppy cat.
Awesome. Well, we have some entries.
We do.
And we have a winner.
We do, and I think it's actually somebody you guys know. It's B Daily 13.
Yeah.
Who said, I want to see Deadshot drown as a Popcat, and for Steph to say Popcats on air.
Nice. To say Popcats! That's what she was going to say. She was going to say it like that. Like I said, it's silly in the video.
That's awesome.
So I want to say that some of these are very cool suggestions. The one I think I like the most is Fitz and Simmons as cats.
Oh, wow.
From S.H.I.E.L.D. That's my favorite one.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I've never gotten that one.
No, that's true.
Yeah. No.
All right. So, did you guys want to stick around and listen to the news?
Sure.
No, the news is...
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Well,
All right. Well, then, it's been a pretty light week, but one thing is that Her Universe reiterated today that there is an open casting call at the Hot Topic at Hollywood and Highland this Saturday at 1 p.m. Basically, they do a fashion show every year at San Diego Comic-Con. It's happening again this year, and for you budding designers, you can actually go and meet with the panel of judges in person, which is kind of cool if you're out in LA. But that will be happening this Saturday at 1 p.m.
Sweet. All right, so was it this morning?
Yes.
Yesterday?
It was yesterday, but I noticed at 5 a.m.
All right. Chris Hardwick, surprise, surprise, is coming back for more shows to Comic-Con. He's doing 2 Nerdist Podcast Live tapings and doing a stand-up show, which I think is basically the same thing he's done for the last year or two.
It is, but normally they only announce the one Nerdist show, and then once that sells out, then they add the second one. So this year we're just not even pretending we think the first one's not going to sell out. We're just straight up doing 2 from the start.
And so let me see if I can get in here real quick when they're going on. See, it's Friday, July 22nd is the stand-up show.
Yep.
7 p.m. and the Nerdist Podcast Live is on the 23rd, Saturday.
7
1 at 7, 1 at 10.
Yep.
Guests are TVA as usual. We'll find out as it gets closer. And they go on sale Thursday, April 21st at 10 a.m. with a special pre-sale code, or on Friday at 12 p.m. to the general public.
And we, since I've had like 50 people ask me today, we have not seen the code yet, but if we do, we'll be sure to share that. And then
I think it's shown up.
You think it's shown up?
The email.
Okay. Well, we will.
I think it's shown up there first in an email that was sent out.
Okay. Well, we will look into that as soon as this is over. But I did want to say real quick, even though both shows are usually pretty good, the second show typically has a little bit better guests. You might just bear that in mind. And then one other cool thing that happened is obviously everybody's on pins and needles waiting for news about Nerd HQ. They have not officially announced yet, but a fan did ask them on Twitter the other day if it was happening, and David tweeted back, "Let's just say there's a lot of traveling to San Diego these days," which sounds pretty positive to me. So hopefully we will get an official announcement soon. It's still early days, even though tomorrow actually marks exactly 3 months until San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh my god.
Scary!
Isn't that terrifying? I think it's terrifying.
Oh, okay, so it's terrifying, but you know, wait, let's go on vacation. I see how it is.
Yeah. You have fun the next 2 weeks. So, Robert, what else is going on?
So it looks like the San Diego Symphony has announced their events for Comic-Con. They both revolve around video game franchises. The first one takes place on Thursday, July 21st, and that is the Final Symphony, based on the music of Final Fantasy. Then the next night on Friday, it is the popular Legend of Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses, which is returning to San Diego. I believe they were there last year. But both events, the tickets are currently on sale, and they range from $35 to $90. They are not at the Summer Pops venue that's located behind the convention center. These are at the Symphony Hall, which I believe is just a little past the gas lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 9 or 10 blocks away.
Yeah, it's not far. And we did learn that they will actually not be using the Embarcadero at all this year. So what that implies is we probably won't be getting 2 shows on any of these nights, but right now Saturday night is wide open, so there is still a possibility that we'll get another show announcement here pretty soon.
All right, and also announced was Sci-Fi is presenting live from Comic-Con over 3 nights of the convention. They will be, we talked to Heather Olander over at Sci-Fi, and they will be setting up shop over in the Marriott Marquis and Marina, probably that new event space that is opening very soon.
There's not much else they could go in over there, so yeah.
No, not really. But they also confirmed that attendees will be able to attend the live tapings, so they're going to do it over 3 days of the convention. They're going to be there for 7 days, but they're going to do live shows on 3 of the days and air them at 8 o'clock each of those nights of Comic-Con. So if you aren't going to Comic-Con, here's one of your chances to see what is happening at the show that day.
I think this has potential, quite honestly, to be really cool. I mean, it's basically what Conan did last year. It's what a couple other people did, but I'm sure they're going to have some cool guests. I mean, I'm sure they'll have plenty of sci-fi people and probably a couple other celebrity guests. So I think it'll be a good time.
Yes, I think so too. And that's about it for the news so far. But of course, more is coming every day as we get closer and closer.
Yeah.
Indeed. Don't forget that Enchantment under the SDCC is back at Henry's Pub on preview night. Unlike last year, it's free to attend, but it is not open bar. And we should have some more sponsor announcements here in the next couple weeks. I do believe that you guys are going to be back this year.
Yes, we will. So much fun last year, so definitely.
It was really fun.
So you guys can look forward to some awesome stuff from Ninjabot. But we should have more official announcements here in the next couple weeks. And I also wanted to say real quick, Robert, as your first week on the podcast, you did a really good job.
Thank you. I was a little nervous, but wasn't that bad.
You did fine. If I can do it, anybody can. So, for those who don't know, this is Robert Warners, and he is Legion of Sand on Twitter, and he joined the blog this year. He's been doing an awesome job, which is good because I am about to go on vacation for 2 weeks.
Hey.
I know you're all very heartbroken.
I am, because that means somebody has to actually work. Somebody is going to have to do some work for once. So,
poor dear.
But the coverage will not change. It will just be typed slower and possibly spelled worse. So there also may be slightly more bad jokes. So
I don't know.
We'll see how that goes.
I don't know. I'm determined to see how many Chris Hardwick jokes I can work into our coverage. So you may have some competition there. But we are teaming up with Uber again this year to give you guys $20 off your first ride at Comic-Con. You can use the code SDCCUblog, which is cool. So, oh, and by the way, parking, make sure you get those registration emails in. That closes on
The 24th.
Yeah,
So
Sunday.
five
Sunday.
days.
Yeah. You can sign up for our newsletter. The link is in the show notes.
And as usual, as we mentioned, news is always on the site, and all of the little tidbits of news are in our Under the Tents column, which is coming out more frequently. And so, in closing, thank you all for joining us. Arnell and Steph, thank you so much for coming on and talking about your work and Comic-Con.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you, Robert. Hope you enjoyed your first time in here.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Awesome. So, Robert, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Legion of Sand, and then also the same website, legionofsand.com. Carrie, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Carrie Dixon. You can also find me on the site, except for the next 2 weeks. James, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
I am everywhere online at Dan Riegel, Twitter, Flickr, everywhere. And you can check out geekshotphoto.com for photos from my wife and I. Yeah.
We are on iTunes. If you'd like to subscribe, the links are up on the blog, or search for SDConCast. If you like what you've heard so far, please review us. We are also on Stitcher Radio. The link is in the show notes.
And if you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at sdcomiccon.blog@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/sdconblog, or tweet us at sd_comic_con. I want to mention again, thank you, Ninjabot, for coming on. The website is The Ninjabot, or on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else at The Ninjabot. And thank you for listening.
I'm going to screw this all up.
Oh, no!
What? Let's answer 2 quick questions.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. Fruits Basket Nerd said, I really hope the Bates Motel cast and crew are at Comic-Con. One of the executive producers said they were going to be when we talked to whatever channel it is they air on, because I'm blanking right now. They basically said, yes, we hope to, but panels are not confirmed yet, so that pretty much means yes, they will be. Thank you for asking.
And
go ahead.
Question on Twitter, we can answer this generally, is when do we find out what panels are going on? In general, 2 weeks before the show is when they are officially announced. Some panels may leak before that, but the official announcement is 2 weeks before the show.
May. So what you really mean is panel announcements will go out in May, and we will start having more official announcements here in just a few weeks.
Yes.
My answer differs very much from James. LeVar Lacey asked, how hard is it to win a lottery for autographs at SDCC? Go to our site and go to our guides. We have lots of guides about autographs. That's my answer. All right.
Yes.
I think we're done.
Now, thank you everybody for listening, and go
Shawarma.
Ninjabot.